Hi, this is Sephiroth Tosh, and I'd like to give some credit to John Griffin for inspiring this video. And I want to talk about solitude, isolation, and what it's like for me experiencing that. It was a very snowy day, but today the snow turned to rain, so now I'm getting rained on. It warmed up quite a bit over the last few days, and the icicles are falling off the houses around here, and they're dangerous. Very dangerous. Anyway, this is where I'm walking today. All of these trees here are only about 8 to 10 years old. They're trying to rebuild this area. So I'm gonna just walk through here today, not in the deep forest. I want to talk about what it's like to live a solitary life. Now, every weekend I get to be with my son, so I'm not completely solitary. I do have my son with me, but most of my time is spent alone. And I would say that's about 80% of the time. I live in isolation, and I have struggled with living in isolation and solitude, but I chose this path. I chose to be isolated. After 2020, my life totally changed, and I didn't want to be around people anymore. I wanted to live, I'd like to live eventually off-grid and someplace remote. Where I can be as far away from people as possible. And what I'm doing right now at age 52 is developing strategies to be able to cope with being alone and isolated. Now, you still have to be disciplined. And if you're not, if you don't have a plan, if you use your time to fuck off, you're eventually that'll lead to depression. Because the old phrase, idle hands are the devil's idle hands are the devil's work, or idle hands is where the devil can come into your life. I don't know how it goes. Someone probably does. And it's an old adage, and I think it rings true. Absolutely. If I have nothing to do, then I start to ferment in a way. I'll start to brew and negative thoughts can come in, and your self-value and your self-worth can be disrupted. And I've gone through all of that, especially over the last 1.5 to 2 years. I chose to live in isolation and solitude for a reason. I forgot that reason along the way. You'll have many times where you have it together and then you don't have it together, but that is part of the learning process. And you have to go through all of that. And you have to go through some dark times in order to understand where you're at emotionally, spiritually, all of those things. And these last couple months, since I've started my YouTube channel, have been incredibly difficult. I've faced all my demons head on, and I have come to the realization and the internal knowledge that I must make a plan every day. I can't sleep in every day. I still have to get the job done. And the job for me may be different from the job that you have to do, but I have a goal, and sometimes I forget it, but I have a goal here, and it's only to be self-reliant. I don't want to depend on anybody else for my emotional well-being. I don't want to have to depend on anybody else for affirmation that I'm doing something good with my life. This is the last part of my life. I'm like turning the chapter. What do I want the rest of my life to look like? Do I want to spend it working in a cubicle 9 to 5? I would rather be poor and mowing lawns than be a part of this system. I'm in complete rejection of the system, and that's why I've chosen to live in solitude. I want to live like this. I want to be alone in the woods. It's where I can be myself. I don't have to rely on anybody else but myself. But you have to, and this goes to Jordan Peterson's conversations. Now, I love Jordan Peterson. He's the father I never had. And he helped me through my alcoholism, and he helped me through my life in general as of the last 10 years. And one of the things he says about solitude and isolation, if you choose to go down that path, is to have some kind of a regiment, some kind of a schedule that you keep every day. Whether you get up early and go work out, or you get up early and you go for a walk, you have to start your day with something that is good for yourself. Especially people who are, retired and don't have the responsibility of work of a 9 to 5 every day. Okay, to conclude with the idea of living in solitude, the key is to stay busy. Don't let idle hands start to take over your thoughts. So it's really easy, because it's like a double-edged sword. You still have to do something. You still have to better yourself. So for me, what I decided to do after a year and a half out of the pool, because I moved across the country and I'm in a new place, and I live fairly far away from any pools, I found one close enough, and I now 3 days a week I get myself in the pool and I swim for an hour and a half, So it's what I used to do for a long time, and like many things, it comes and goes. But I know that if I am going to be healthy of my mind and my body and my spirit, I have to exercise. Sorry about the water drops. That might be a little better. There we go. So you have to do something. You have to go get healthy. Quit drinking. Start with that. Better yourself. Because once you're healthy of your mind, your body, and your spirit, you will be able to see the world in a different way. And all of a sudden, solitude and isolation becomes a creative endeavor, just like what I'm doing here. I'm looking at this as an opportunity to not only get healthy, but teach to you the ill-fated ways of my life. Thanks for listening, and see you on the next one. Bye.